Hi, welcome all. This is our first video from One Pitch Catch after the IPL has started. We will just see a quick review of the six games that have ended so far and overall our thoughts across the games. Welcome, Jaga.
Hi Ganesh. Hi all. Get started.
So, shall we get started straight away with the
Sure.
first
Yeah.
match of the defending champions KKR versus RCB, which KKR lost. Uh,
Yeah.
so, your thoughts on that, Jaga?
I think we did speak about it in the preview videos about how RCB has a pretty decent squad. They're same covered in multiple departments, and this kind of showcase that as well. We interestingly enough, we had touched upon some of the topics around Ajinkya's batting position and how he would fit in. I think it was interesting that he scored almost like a pretty quick 50. Uh, so from in that sense, he was able to justify his inclusion as a captain and whatever his batting position was going to be. And then the other interesting observation, I think we had questions around how would Rajat Patidar shape up as a captain, captaining over Virat and a bunch of other stars. How do you think he went?
Yes, I think at least by going by the first game, he proved me wrong. I think I saw Rajat Patidar, the captain, by himself. He was
Hmm.
pretty comfortable being the captain of one of the biggest teams in IPL. So I felt he was doing a very good job in terms of captaincy. I especially with the way that KKR started and they were looking at around 220, 230. Commentators
Yeah.
was talking of can they go reach beyond 230 and all, and they ended up at 174. I mean the bowlers did well, but even when they were going berserk, I think
Hmm.
he had a good head on his shoulders. Rajat Patidar surprised me as a captain of an IPL team.
Hmm.
Honestly, it was good to see Rajat Patidar being a captain by himself and not depending on the other stars like Virat or anybody in that team.
And
I
that'll
was
be
very
good for them for the
impressed.
entire season, right? Once they know that the captaincy piece is not a thing anymore, like he doesn't have to look over his shoulder. I think RCB will be definitely benefiting from that.
Definitely. I
The
think
other
the other,
person, sorry, go ahead.
yeah, overall, I think Rajat Parida's captaincy would have given a lot of confidence to other players also in the RCB team who think that they should I be looking for
Right.
Virat's words or things like that. But Rajat
Yeah.
did a great job. I mean, it is very early days, just one game, but I think against the defending champions, though they have lost a lot of personnel, it's a very important game for RCB to
Yeah.
start on a winning note. Rajat did a good job, I feel.
Yeah, the other person that was a little interesting is Phil Salt. He batted very, very well, but it's a completely different person when we see him batting in England colors, whether it's in T20s or ODIs. What have you seen?
Yeah, I mean, I agree with you, Jaga, obviously, because the thing is, he played out a very quiet over against KKR, where there were four or five dot balls, but he got a boundary. But then, such thing, and then he managed to get a 50 at the end of in the
Yeah.
game. But this, the most of the England cricket that I've seen, it doesn't happen with him. He just a couple of dot balls, he loses and he goes berserk, and I mean, you are very sure when a bowler is able to bowl a
Oh,
couple of dot balls to Salt, you know that he's going to get out in the next two balls. I think it's a baseball thing, or I don't know, because he did this last year also when he played for KKR for
oh,
IPL. He
okay.
did a good job. He did not get flustered by dot balls. He was there and ensured that he scored 70s and 80s. Again, this time in one game, he's got a 50, playing out
Mm,
a quiet over also. But in
yeah,
England colors, in fact, England, it's a 50 over game. You can afford to play two, three maiden overs. But
yeah.
he plays two dot balls, three dot balls. You know he's going to get out that over or the next over. I think Phil Salt. I mean, the England management would do very well if the IPL version of Phil Salt turns up for England.
Yeah, or they have to contact the RCB management and find out What are you guys doing differently?
I mean,
Uh,
that's an irony. Generally, RCB confuse good players, but England is king of that. I think even beyond, if England cricket board management has to ask RCB
and they
who
can, right? Because this guy, Mo
Mo
Bobat,
Bobat. Yeah, Mo Bobat used to be
he
ECB.
came from the England board. So maybe they'll
Yes,
take something.
yeah, they will hopefully.
Yeah, nice. And then we get to the RR game.
SRH RR.
RH versus RR, complete carnage right from the start. We've seen that last year with Travis Head and Abhishek. Basically continuing sequel நடந்துட்டு
Yeah, Sigala.
and
Ishan Kishan
against
has
the
also
team
joined the party.
and now Ishan Kishan has joined them. Against a team like SRH, do you even give them a chance to put up a score on the board? It just seemed like a very weird decision, opting to chase. And Riyan Parag is basically ball a Parag vatna. Ball paran paran. Uh,
Exactly. I mean, on the
he
captaincy
looks
note,
completely clueless as a captain.
the way Rahane and Rajat Patidar impressed on the captaincy note, it's the complete opposite was Riyan Parag. I mean, though he's a temporary captain for 3 matches or 4 matches until Samson is fit, but still you expect a better showing from somebody who's
Yeah.
been playing in IPL for years. Though he's young, he's been playing in the same team for years, and he had no clue when I mean usually big players don't have a clue when Travis Head and Abhishek go berserk. But like we spoke on the preview, I was assuming teams will have to come with a plan this time at least. You can't get on, let them go on and on and on without a plan. So, but RR's, I mean, in fact, an old video that has surfaced where Riyan Parag says RR has figured out the answers to Abhishek and Travis said.
Oh,
An old video has figured come up but surfaced. But I
அதனால
have
தான்
just
300 அடிக்கல.
oh yeah, otherwise they would have got to 300.
Yeah.
So their highest score was 287. They couldn't even
Yeah.
touch that. They fell
That's
short by
when
one
the
run.
strategy worked, right?
So Riyan Parag's video worked, I think, is so otherwise, and also there, I mean, they should have played Hasaranga in the first game. I think not playing Hasaranga, I didn't think it was a good idea because I don't think unleashing Archer on Head and Abhishek is not going to help. Maybe Archer could have dismissed them for, but you never know with pace. No, they do. They both of them play
ஆமா.
very well against pace. They keep hitting. So I think
Plus, he's
they
coming back from injury in the last few months only. I think he only started playing recently. Form is a suspect, so it was definitely risky. And plus, Asananga gives you some batting as well.
Saranga gives you batting, but the next game you talk about, Archer can hit a few sixes. Then Saranga. We will come to it to the next game, next RR game when we come to it. Uh, then I mean, so it was basically a no contest. SRH.
Yeah.
I
Correct.
mean, though they got some runs towards the end
Yeah.
with Jurel
40,
and all
40
those
runs is
things.
a huge margin.
Yeah, 40 runs is a huge margin. Jurel showed some class. Jurel
Hmm.
showed his thing, but still it was way too. The moment it was 286, it was
Yeah,
no
correct.
way you're going to get there. Mm.
Then then we
The
get
next
to
CSK
CKMI.
MI, the big guns CSK MI. Uh, I mean, I had the first thing that I said was like we said in the preview, the CSK as a team maximized the home advantage to the best possible way,
Yeah.
unleashing spinner after spinner after spinner. Uh,
175 types target,
yeah, I mean,
where drives
in fact, I think
four.
Jaga, I think it was a 175 wicket. I think Jaga, but they managed 155.
Ah,
Okay,
correct.
so
Yeah.
I think there were 15-20 runs short. If they had got that 15-20 runs, you never know what could have happened
Yeah.
because that match got tighter towards the end, like 4 overs,
Yeah,
30
yeah,
to
yeah,
win
definitely. That's
with
the
wickets
last over.
falling. And luckily, I mean, Rachin held his cool, which is not surprising given having seen Rachin for the last 1 year or so. But all that, if you look at it, I think another 15-20 runs, it could have been this way or that way. The CSK batting needs a lot of thinking or by Stephen Fleming and co.
Yeah, definitely. We've seen they'll improve as they go along. It also meant that MI lost the first match of their tournament yet again. I think 2012 was probably the last time they won their first ever match.
Yes,
So
exactly,
really
exactly.
that continues.
Exactly. And one other thing is, I wouldn't reach too much into this because they were without Jasprit and
Yeah.
Hardik this game. I mean, though it was a spinning wicket and all those things, the having Hardik is
Come
in good form. I mean,
Yeah.
Bumrah is always in form. So those things, considering all those things, I think they could have done. They will do better once they both come
Um,
back.
yeah. That then takes us to a very interesting game, DC versus LSG, where there is no explanation how DC won that game.
I mean,
Uh,
so DC took home 2 points, but it was LSG who won the battle of losing.
okay, incompetency they
Exactly. So both of them tried their best to lose the game. I think Ashutosh was not aware of the plan, so DC
uh,
won.
yeah,
So
because they
that's
went from 60 for 5 to they were chasing 210 with
210. Yes,
no names left.
names left.
It's
And Vipraj
impossible to
Nigam,
understand.
who bowled, I mean, in fact, Vipraj Nigam, like we had said on the preview,
Yeah.
Jagdish, he bowled extremely well, I felt. In fact, he bowled only 2 overs because Pooran got onto him with three sixes.
Um,
But after the first six, there was a sitter of a catch that was
yeah.
dropped. If
At
that
point.
catch had been taken, I'm really thinking Vipraj would have bowled 4 overs, probably for
Yeah.
3 wickets or something like that. He bowled extremely well, I feel. But again, Vipraj batted also well. I mean, he
And he
was
also
the one
batted well.
who gave the good uh,
Yeah.
thrust
Support, yeah.
and momentum to Ashutosh. Ashutosh was 20 of 20 balls. In the next
Mm.
11 balls, he scored 46 runs, which is, I mean, 46 runs is basically boundary
Yeah.
every ball, 11 balls,
Monday every ball.
46.
Yeah.
So he just, like I said, LSG had no business losing that game. Hmm.
Which is now it's going to be interesting for Rishabh because the owners have a bit of a history with captains, right? 2016 is when they created that Rising Pune Super Giants franchise.
Hmm. Hmm.
Dhoni was the captain for the first year. They finished, I think, seventh or eighth or something like that. Next year, Dhoni, this is Dhoni we are talking about, gets sacked as captain, replaced by Steve Smith.
Hmm.
Then cut to last year, where that very public dressing down of KL Rahul happens after obviously, I mean, SRH steamrolled them in that game in like 15 overs or something they won.
No
But
loss.
still,
11,
all
11, 12
the
hours, no
no
loss, I think.
loss. Yeah, I think they were chasing like 180 for no loss and something like
Hmm.
that. But still, the fact that something happened so publicly means I think that unless Rishabh is able to get his own act together and get the team to do something, I would not be surprised if they suddenly just sack him midway through the season also. It's and Rishabh is not necessarily your top pick when it comes to T20s. He's a very good test batsman. For some reason, T20s is never getting picked consistently as well. He tends to start slow and then he wants to catch up. Sometimes it doesn't work out. So his own personal batting plus captaincy plus the team's performance, I think those are going to be things that are going to be worrying for him.
I mean, it's a valid point in terms of, especially with the team owners and the history that you're bringing up, Jaga. But I think it's very early days, given the fact punt is punt. I
Yeah.
mean, yes, but that way, I mean, MS Dhoni is way bigger than punt,
Hmm.
but he also had the same thing with the same owner. Let us see. I am hoping punt should sort it through. But again, given the team strength, going by the team strength, I still don't think LSG making it to the playoffs. So that is the case happened with Rahul. First 2 years they made it to the playoffs. Last year they didn't make it to the playoffs, but like
Hmm.
you said, the dressing down was very public, and now Rahul had to be out of the team and things like that.
Yeah.
So let us see. It is too early, but you have a point. Maybe it is better for Punt to get his act together before it gets ugly.
Right. Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah. Great. And we get to Punjab. Was that the next game?
Yes, GT versus Punjab.
GT
Yes.
was Punjab. So that was a pretty interesting game, if not for nothing else, but how Shreyas just blasted away with great support from Shashank Singh. But what Shreyas didn't realize is that he should have got 100. It's the it's the normal default practice for your top Indian batsmen to expect the team to push them along to the 100. We saw that in the 2023 World Cup with Virat, and I think KL was basically willing him on to the 100. He was trying his level best to get Virat to that score. So I think if Shreyas was a little bit smarter and had taken the right lessons from Virat over the years, he would have got 100. I think in the last 6 or 7 balls, he didn't score that many runs. He should have taken a single. He should have somehow forced a single in that last over, taken strike, hit a four, tick the 100 bucks, go home.
Exactly. The second ball was a couple. In fact, Shashank got a couple. In fact, Shreyas Iyer was the one who pushed Shashank for the second run in that ball. Uh,
Not smart.
e- Easily, if it was Virat, he could have happily stayed with single and got his
Yeah,
100. I don't know what Shreyas is learning from Virat. I mean, I think he has no respect for senior players to learn anything from them.
correct. Yeah,
Hmm.
which sort of brings me to Shashank himself. Uh, I think we also spoke about somebody like Ashutosh who featured in the LSGDC game.
Hmm.
They seem to be, I mean, they'll obviously have to perform consistently over a period of time, but do you think they will be knocking on the doors of the Indian side at some point of time, especially given that there's some openings that have already come up with no Virat, no Rohit, no Jadeja, etc.
No, I mean, Jaga, I think they are one thing that I would like to say is they have been performing consistently already, Jaga. Both of them last year, both of them were in
Yeah,
Punjab Kings.
Ashutosh is very consistent.
Ashutosh and Shashank won games for them
Yeah,
from situations unwinnable. Okay, from really those kind of situations, both of them won games for them. And I mean, this is after Punjab Kings not wanting that Shashank in the auction.
correct. Same requirement. Yeah, yeah.
Okay, so and Shashank and Ashutosh one game this year. Ashutosh is gone to DC and he's done it
Yeah.
in the first possible opportunity that he got. I think the likes of Shivam Dubey and Rinku Singh should be worried, given the way Ashutosh and Shashank are playing, and maybe I wouldn't be surprised a couple of more names come up in the coming week or so with the new games. I mean, of course, anyway you have Nitish Kumar Reddy also who plays down the order. I mean, for SRH he doesn't play there, but for India his role he doesn't have a role top of the order. He has to play in that role. He is also good with a bowling option. So especially with Ashutosh and Shashank, I am sure Rinku and Shivam Dubey or anybody else in that area should be thinking about keeping their place tight.
Yeah. And in that same game, this is the
And I
Gujarat
mean, one
one,
thing
right?
is no the same game. One thing I wanted to talk about that game was the way Vaishak Vijay Kumar was brought in as an impact
Mm.
bowler in the 16th over.
16th
and
over,
uh,
yeah.
I have to tell that I mean Vaishak was like I mean Vaishak and the art of bowling wides. He should have a podcast saying that. So he
அவன்
bowled
பேரே
he
மாத்திக்கலாம். Wide ஷாக்னு வச்சுக்கலாம்.
I mean, he kept bowling wides. He gave two. I mean, the way Sherfan Rutherford started hitting Stoinis in an over, it looked Sherfan Rutherford and Joss Butler could take the game away from Punjab. But Vaishak came in as an impact sub that late in the game.
Yeah,
He really, I mean, he was not given the man of the match. Obviously, Shreyas Iyer's great innings won the man of the match, but the match turned because of those 2 overs by Vaishak, where he gave away 10 runs of 2 overs, which included like four wides or something, which means six singles and four wides in 2 overs when they needed like 10, 12 runs an over or maybe more. And they were hitting those 13,
yeah,
14
correct.
runs an over. That Vaishak 2 overs completely changed the match in
Definitely.
Punjab's favor, I felt. It was a master move, whether Shreyas did it or Ponting did it, to bring him as an impact player after the 15th over. That was
Yeah,
very
whatever
extremely
it is,
impressive from Baishak.
yeah, whatever it is, I think they're all working towards Ponting's goal of making this the best ever Punjab team. As I think Gautamani says it in Singaravelan, Idallava Latchiyam. Like this is a team that has never won the tournament. Is that your benchmark or baseline? Would you say that this needs to be the best ever PK team? That's a very easy thing to do.
Yeah, that's what he's setting a easy target for himself. That's all. Ponting. I mean, he should have said that this should be the best IPL team ever. Then, in spite of not winning over 17 years, I will make this the best IPL team ever.
Come
Is a challenge and a target that you work towards. Building the best ever PK team is fairly easy, given what
exactly.
Ricky Ponting is, who Ricky Ponting is.
Um, yeah, I
So I
think
think he got his
yes,
wording wrong there. I think he
he got his,
wanted to.
and he probably has his priorities wrong as well.
So that is something that yeah, that is something that he could have bettered when in his comments.
Yeah, correct.
Um,
Yeah. What else? What's the next game you want to look at?
then the second RR versus KKR game, which KKR got a
Uh,
couple of points thanks to Quinton de Kock's brilliant
yeah,
97. Again, I think if we'll start talking about RR so that we don't have to focus on KKR and we won't have time to focus on KKR. RR is, I mean, I do not know what
their
they've
plans.
completely lost it, I think, or something dramatic has to happen in the next couple of matches for them to get a comeback. I don't know. They, like we spoke about, the people they've lost in not retaining, and they retained Hetmeyer, whom they are sending to bat after 16th over, in spite of a top order collapse. People are
Um,
tottering. They're tottering at 5 down, and they're taking
holding him
the
back for what?
impact player option and sending in Shubham Dubey.
Um,
I mean, why do you retain a player for paying such a heavy to let him play for 10, 15 balls? It's not going to work. And Hetmeyer is not a player. He can bat from the 12th over, 11th over. If
yeah,
a situation
definitely.
arises, he's not just a hitter.
Hitter, right?
I mean, Archer hit couple of sixes. He's not an Archer who will come down and
Yeah,
hit two sixes. He cannot bat from the 10th over. Hetmeyer can hold himself and then gotten to a score of 180, which could have been difficult yesterday. But they just managed 150 and it became very easy for KKR. And
yeah.
they sent Hasaranga to bat at 5. Apparently, I
Hmm.
heard this is the highest Hasaranga has batted in
Oh,
his IPL career. I mean, not a lot of games, but still, I'm saying about 20 games or so. I think Hasaranga batting at 5 with Hetmeyer batting at 8 and Tushar Pandey, who bowled well for them in the massacre at Hyderabad by SRH, who bowled decently and picked wickets. He was not bowling till the 16th over. He was not. Yes, the ball was stopping. It was a spin assisting wicket. The way Varun Moin, Rian bowled 4 overs. All those things. I think captaincy. Rian bowled 4 overs. Tushar Deshpande didn't. He bowled a single over.
yeah.
I mean, I don't
Single
know
runs.
what is happening with the Royals. They say 50% of the thing is done in the auction table, 50% of done in the matches. They missed that 50% definitely. This 50% also is going down.
Yeah, and I think KK's bowling, especially with Varun, he did a very good job uh, being able to control. I mean, RR contributed to what eventually happened, but KK's bowling is pretty spot on as
KKR
well.
extremely. I mean, they read the pitch well. They had the bowling plans pretty well sorted out, and in fact, they missed Sunil Narayan yesterday. But they didn't seem to miss him in the bowling because Moin bowled brilliantly. Again, 2 for 23, I think, if I remember correctly. He bowled extremely well. I mean, they opened with Moin in Sunil Narayan's place, which probably he didn't do
Amak.
anywhere near Sunil Narayan, but he bowled extremely well. The wicket, they read the wicket well and played to it, I feel. Even Quinton de Kock, who generally likes the ball coming onto his bat and hits through the line, he was cautious
Yeah,
yesterday. He played. he wanted to play the big innings because I think he was sure that a new batsman coming in would have been very difficult to settle.
Like,
So he took the responsibility upon himself and batted out completely.
yeah,
So I don't know what's happening with RR.
yeah,
It looks like this IPL is a contest of nine teams. The way RR
yeah. I
is.
mean, if they don't get their act together, it's going to be seriously. Might as well just write them off at some point of time. As early as maybe like 2 3 weeks later, they may not even be anywhere close to the picture.
Yeah, I think
Good.
so.
I think we got through the matches that have happened so far. Any final thoughts? Anything? Any other observations?
I think going by the first one game, a couple of teams have played two games. Otherwise, I think the MICSK SRH can. Yeah, I think MI and though MI lost, CSK won. I think among my predictions, MI, CSK, SRH, RCB, and Punjab.
Yeah,
I think now I feel CSK looks the weakest of the five, especially given the batting
yeah, yeah,
is worrisome. But otherwise, Punjab, the way Punjab
yeah.
played, it was. I
Impressive.
think they are all set to walk into the playoffs. I may be calling it too early, but I think they are really all set to get into the playoffs. I feel, Jagan.
Nice. So yeah, we'll call it a wrap. We'll be back again in maybe 2 3 days time with the next set of matches. Until then, keep watching, subscribe, do the usual things. Give us the feedback. We will definitely take the learnings. Thanks a lot, Ganesh. Good night, all.
Bye. Good night, everyone.
Bye.